Welcome to Nature's Way to Wellness, a series of honest conversations with three women who've partnered with Nature's Way to discuss their weight wellness journeys. The range of topics includes managing cravings, self-love, healthy routines, and all the tools that they're using for their long-term success. I'm Vanessa Rissetto, registered dietitian, co-founder and CEO of Kalina Health. I've been a registered dietitian for 15 years, mostly supporting patients around weight management. I had an amazing conversation today with Maddy Guttierrez, and we talked everything about her weight management journey, how she's supporting herself, self-love, self-care, identity shifts. It was really fun. I'm so excited that I got to know her, and I'm excited for you guys to hear this awesome conversation. But first, my disclaimer. These are my thoughts and opinions as a registered dietitian and my views that I would share on an individual client or patient basis. If you have questions specific to your own weight journey, please seek advice from a healthcare professional. Okay, hey guys, I'm so excited to introduce you to my next guest. I'm here with Maddy Guttierrez to talk about her journey with weight loss and pull back the curtain on the variety of tools that can be used to support a weight wellness journey. So, welcome.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm so glad to meet you, and I'm so excited that you're here on the Nature's Way Wellness podcast. So,
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. So, tell me a little bit more about the ups and downs around your weight loss journey.
Well, to be completely transparent, I have been struggled with my weight since I was a child. I think I was in a weekly weigh-in meeting when I was 10. And it's always been something that I have struggled with. And I've lost hundreds of pounds over my 37 years and gained weight back every time I have lost weight. And almost 3 years ago, I decided that I really wanted to show up for my kids and be around for my children when they were getting older as well. And in order to do that, I needed to take care of myself. And I decided that I was going to lose weight and I wasn't going to gain it back. And at 367 pounds was my highest weight, and the day that I said, I am done. And with the help of a GLP-1 and lots of lifestyle changes, I am now, again, almost 3 years into a 190-pound weight loss and feel better than I ever have in my whole life.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And actually, something that you said just a little bit ago about, a lot of ups and downs. I think I talk about this a lot with people that weight loss is not linear.
Mm-mm.
There are a lot of ups and downs. And so, what was the time of day? Like, how late did you eat? Or maybe you didn't eat and you ate a little bit more the next day. And so it's not going to be perfect. And you do need a lot of accountability in order to get to that next place.
100%. And I think one of the biggest struggles with weight loss that I'm sure a lot of other people can relate to is most people think it is only the journey to weight loss. And once you've reached your goal, that's the end of it. But the reality is maintaining a weight loss is the hardest part because it isn't just a short amount of time. It is your whole life, and really settling into knowing that this is a forever change, I think is the hardest mentality shift to really fully grasp. And not everyone gets that, I don't think. I didn't until I really did.
Yeah, I think that's really behind like all the messaging that's out there, right? It's like, oh, hey, do this diet, take this pill, and then you can stop taking it at some point and everything is going to be okay. And that isn't the truth, right? We all know that like fat cells have memory and there are a lot of different components and, a lot of emotional things attached to this. And so it's not just like I woke up and I'm just going to eat and drink whatever I want, whenever I want. And then I'm going to stop doing that. Right. Like,
and it's not that you have to live in a calorie deficit forever. Again, we understand that, but, without true changes in your mentality, in your emotional state, and your relationship with food and your body and movement, you can't maintain the weight loss, which just means you'll be back in the same situation over and over again, which I think people who are like me, who have struggled with their weight for their whole life, that's where they find themselves in, because this is our body's set point. This is what our body knows, and this is what our body always wants. And it's not as simple as lose the weight, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. So like in that vein, right? I mean, I commend you because it is really hard and it is emotionally taxing and you have 3 kids and you're busy, right?
Two. I've
And
got 2 boys.
Two boys. And so how do you keep yourself motivated, happy, how and a routine that is like, okay, I'm going to do this and it's sustainable. Because here's the thing, right? Which I know, it's not enough to just take the GLP-1. It's not enough, right? There are many different things that have to happen and those things might change. And so how do you keep going and how do you keep this sustainable?
I have done lots of therapy in the last 3 years as well. So again, it's not just about the choices that you make on the outside, the food you put in your body or the movement that you do. There's a lot that goes on, and realizing, for me, the biggest way that I can keep going when I couldn't before is that I am worth the effort. And if I cannot show up for myself, and if I cannot be accountable for myself, who else can depend on me and who else can disappoint me? And if I'm okay disappointing myself, I better be okay with the world disappointing me. If I'm okay accepting failure for myself, I can't really be upset when other people disappoint me. And really understanding that I deserve to show up and to be a priority is the only way that I'm able to keep going, because not every day is perfect. I have days where I don't want to get up and put my workout clothes on. There are days where I don't want to try to hit my protein goals. But I know that at the end of the day or the end of the week, or again, at the end of my life, what will I be proud of? What will get me to sleep well when I go to bed at night? And not just from an emotional standpoint, but like, am I going to sleep well tonight? Not if I don't work out, not if I don't try to fuel my body properly. And the longer I am in this more like maintenance stage, the easier it does get. But having the mentality of I am just as valuable as my children is something that I have to remind myself of regularly, but that reminder is my why.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you've touched upon this idea, which I talk about with clients all the time, which is like, how do I align with my goals? And so like, yes, not every day is perfect. And yes, like today I'm tired and I don't want to get up and I don't want to think about, having 100 grams of protein or whatever that number is. But the goal is to be present for my children, to be able to run around with them, to be proud of myself at the end of the day, the week, the month, the year, the life. And so I always tell people it's the sum of averages. And I always say like, hey, you basically have 35 chances a week to achieve whatever the goal is. And so if you could kind of do that like 31 to 32 times, you are going to have success. And so that gives you a lot of leeway, right, to quote unquote not be perfect, because perfection is not really a thing.
It's not anything that I even want to be. I have no desire to be perfect.
It's boring.
But leaning towards that, I think as women, and especially as mothers, we deprioritize ourselves. And for a long time, my therapist said, maybe you should think of 2 versions of yourself. And today, you are making choices for somebody else, because it's a lot easier to not feel selfish. And so a lot of the times, yesterday, I had this conversation with myself when I did not want to work out. But I said, myself tomorrow, when I have a really busy day and I know I'm not going to work out tomorrow, I know it's not in my schedule, will be so glad that I worked out today. So I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for me tomorrow. And I'm choosing the meal right now that maybe isn't the most fun or interesting or, emotionally satisfying or whatever. But I know that on date night, I get to choose whatever I want. So I'm making this choice so that date night me gets to order whatever and have a cocktail or whatever it is.
Sure.
And separating it is, I think, really helped me not feel like I was being selfish in taking time for myself, or again, choosing the dinner that was best for me versus, what my kids wanted to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So let's talk about like daily changes. Cause people come to us, or come to me and they'll say, yeah, okay, so I drink every single day and I also drink juice every single day. And so like now I'm just like not doing it anymore. And I'm like, that is going to stop working shortly.
So true.
It's not going to work. We're going to pick one thing, the lowest hanging fruit. And I actually do that in a systematic way because I want to prove to people that they can do it. And the example I always say is like, oh, okay, you drink juice every day. Okay, for the next week, I want you to just drink juice every other day. And then they come back to me and they're like, I did it. I drank juice every other day. I'm like, great. Now you're going to do it. You're going to drink juice every 2 days. And then after 4 weeks, right? Or 5 weeks, you're only having it once a week and then you're not thinking about it anymore. And then we got rid of that. And we've added a couple of other things. And then they get into these habits that they realize aren't too emotionally taxing or burdensome. And I tell them, have a cup of non-starchy green vegetables at lunch. And they're like, I don't want to roast broccoli. I'm like, can you get a cucumber and just dice it up and put it on the side? And they're like, huh. I thought I had to, I'm like, you have to get off the internet for 2 minutes and just do what works best for you. So what are those small things or those things that are in your toolbox that you do every day that support you that aren't, an 18 ingredient list recipe?
I love that is the way you go about it with your clients, because that is how I took my journey. I had hoped when I started to lose weight that I would lose 50 pounds. And I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would ever end up in what is like medically the healthy weight, because I have always been, in the morbidly obese category.
Sure.
And when I said I just wanted to lose 50 pounds, it felt very attainable. It didn't feel too big. And I said, I'm just going to take the GLP-1 and see how it goes. And then after I had gotten comfortable with that, I said, okay, and now I'm going to stop snacking after 10 p.m. Not 7 p.m., Maddy, just 10 p.m. Just cut it off at 10 p.m. And that's when I closed my kitchen. And that's what I literally said to myself, just like I say to my kids. I had to parent myself a little bit, and doing things that maybe before were hard. Once, I don't have to commit to going on a walk every day. I just have to say, I'm going to go on a walk today. And that's all I have to do. I don't have to worry about tomorrow. I just have to do it today. I have changed so many aspects of my life. And I think it's been such a gradual shift that a lot of the times I forget until I go look at old videos or, pictures. And I'm like, wow, I absolutely forgot that that's how much food I was eating and how often I was snacking. But a few things that have really on a daily basis made a big change for me is prioritizing protein and making sure I get enough protein in. I cannot tell you how much of a difference it makes in satiety or satiety, whatever. Sorry.
Yeah, satiety. You got it.
Eating enough protein does for me. I feel so much better. I feel so much more relaxed, like, again, in my emotional state and my mental clarity. I started taking, once I had hit this maintenance phase, and I've kind of been in maintenance mode for almost a year, I would say.
Amazing.
About
Congrats.
8 months. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have started using Weight Manager from Nature's Way, and I take it once a day, and I usually like to take it after breakfast. I take some greens in the morning, have my breakfast that is protein focused always, and then I take Weight Manager to help, which is, has amazing ingredients that help to kind of keep the cravings to a minimum. We're all human. We all want things, and that's
Sure.
fine. But being able to kind of control them is, I don't know, such a game changer. Who would you recommend this product to?
Yeah, I would recommend it honestly to anyone that's on a weight loss journey,
Mhm.
right? Like this is, like I said before, it's a
I agree.
tool. Yeah, right. It's a tool in your toolbox, and then you find where it works for you, right? We know that the Moricil and will help with the fat loss, but I think actually what is like most interesting to me is the reduction of the cravings, and we know that the Chromax, the chromium percolinate, does that, and so. Are you somebody that after dinner like needs to have, a cookie or, an
Love
ice
a sweet
cream?
treat.
Same, girl, welcome. I'm like, one time my son was like, "Mommy, are you gonna give up chocolate for Lent?" And I'm like, "Oh God, no!" Like,
Never.
never,
Never.
never.
There's
I'm like, let's
always room for ice cream.
always, always. But like, this is what can help you,
Yeah.
right? Like, so let's try this. It actually does taste great. It's a fun drink to have. You can sometimes I'll add a little bit of seltzer to make it like a little bit more like fizzy, right? Like this is just like it seems like a little like mocktail. So that is also like the psychological part of that is
Yep.
also kind of fun. And so this is what I actually tell a lot of my patients that are in menopause, right? Because it's like, okay, well, I'm not doing anything different, but I'm hungry all the time, and I can't seem to get out of my own way. And I'm like, right, well, after 35, you store fat in a different way. You don't burn calories as efficiently. Snacking might not be the thing that we want to do. The estrogen goes down, which is why we have these cravings that go up. So let's try this and let's see how it helps us. So honestly,
I
anyone.
love that you said that, because something that I really noticed is now that I'm kind of in this maintenance phase, I've lowered my GLP-1 dose. I'm just trying to stay still.
Sure.
But during that lead up to my period, I am so hungry now, and I can recognize that like shift in hormones just from my appetite. And it's not just that I'm hungrier, but it's that I'm hungrier for French fries and ice cream. And that is the only thing I want. And I feel like this has really helped in the last couple months that I've been taking it, because I don't have quite nearly the intense level of I need French fries every day for this whole week leading up to my period. It really does, I think, make a huge difference. And so it's interesting when you
1,000%.
say that about people going through menopause.
Yeah, yeah. We don't talk about it for a myriad of reasons. Again, different podcast, but we can do it. But the hormones change. Even during different phases of your cycle, you do experience different hunger cues,
Yeah.
right? And then if then on top of that, you're somebody that has like constant food noise, or it just makes it so hard and you feel discouraged. And
That
then
was the word I was going to use. It can be
Yep.
very discouraging to feel like, oh my gosh, I've done so well for 3 weeks, right? Like, or again, whatever your hormonal shift or whatever's happening emotionally, maybe it's just stressful, but to feel like you've done so well, and then to suddenly, again, kind of have that backslide of why is the food noise coming back, or why do I only want junk when I've been so consistent, and having something in your toolbox, like you said, to just help manage that is key.
Yeah, and I think we just have to keep telling everyone the truth. Like, hey, your hormones affect your hunger. Don't let somebody tell you that it doesn't, because it does. Like
Yeah.
as you
and,
age.
and hey, you're gonna mess up, or it's
Yeah.
not even a mess up. Hey, you're
No.
gonna have days where you're hungrier.
Correct.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I'd
Mhm.
never experienced hunger and satiety before I started a GLP-1. And so now being able to just recognize cues in my body and be able to say, oh, because like food freedom and just listen to your body. My body tells me to eat vegetables sometimes now.
Yeah.
My body tells me, girl, you need some protein.
Yep.
Or, hey, we really need some carbs. You are low. And having this to kind of cancel out the extra noise, again, you are able to actually listen to your body.
Yeah. And I think what you just said is actual food freedom. Food freedom is being really self-aware, understanding what works for you, honoring what works for you, and making sure that it's all in alignment with your goals. So
I think having somebody that you can talk to honestly about it, and maybe not even necessarily be accountable with, because I feel like that, again, makes it a very pass-fail scenario, but just somebody you can be honest with, and you remove that shame from. There is so much shame around weight as a whole, whether you are overweight, underweight, in a healthy body. Nobody wants to talk about it. And having somebody that you can have those open, honest conversations with is super, super helpful. And I would love to hear from you if you have any of, you asked me what my daily habits were, but as I sit in maintenance, and I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, because I've never lived in a body like this. I've never lived in a lower weight like I have for the last few months. What are some more things that I can maybe incorporate into my life, or some shifts that I can add that might make it easier to continue sustaining? Because that is where I am at now. I want to continue and hang on without any backsliding.
Yeah, I think that your approach is really amazing, and it is something that people should strive for. And I think you should be really proud of yourself, because you are very self-aware and you are willing to do the work, and you know that it's not going to be 100% all of the time, and you give yourself grace. And I think that is truly the first place to start, because if you're going in this thinking like, oh, I'm just going to omit this and do this, and then I'm going to be on my way, and if it's not perfect, then all is lost, then we're going to get into some pitfalls. So I think just like being kind to yourself is like really important. And then like having structure.
I live my life by saying 90% is still an A.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
As long as I've done 90%, I'm still getting the A. I don't have to be 100%. So if I have the protein prepped and a really, really great sauce, Greek yogurt has been my lifeline during my journey, because Greek yogurt ranch dressing, Greek yogurt tzatziki, Greek yogurt, spicy feta. If I have a really good dip, I can have any kind of vegetable, and I'm a raw vegetable lover. Just give me the snap peas and the carrots, and that'll be great, and the cucumbers. And then I've got a prepped protein that I know is great. And so many weeks, that prepped protein is a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store.
Yes.
And so many weeks, it's pre-cooked sausages that have really great macros. Because I don't want to cook all day long. I'm from New York City, and I have no desire to pull out the dishes from my stove.
Yeah. So it is really just like thinking through, like, what does the schedule look like? Let's do the best that we can. And like, hey guys, sometimes it's quesadillas with the carrots on the side, and we are doing that, and we are happy, and we are fed.
And it's delicious.
It's delicious. But just like being honest with yourself, I think that is also really the most important thing. I've had patients come to us and say, I think I want to lose weight, but I don't know if I'm allowed to, or if I'm supposed to want that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that you came to me, because I'm a trained professional. Let's have a conversation. And then I ask a lot of questions, and then I'm like, okay, you don't have any reason why we can't embark on trying to lose weight. But I think my job, I know my job, and I do this, I think, pretty well, is that people come to me, and like much to what you said, right? Like, okay, you're 300 plus pounds. People will come to me and be like, I want to be 110 pounds. And then these are the questions I ask. Have you ever been 110 pounds? And they're like, no. What's the lowest weight you've been in the last 5 years? 280 pounds. Is everyone in your family in a larger body? Yes. Okay, great. We're going to take this 1 pound at a time. But I'm going to say 110 pounds is likely not where we're going to land. And that's going to be okay. And we're going to do a lot of good work. And you're going to be really happy at the end result. And so I think that is the messaging, and that actually gets people to go pretty far.
Well, as somebody who has lived their life very publicly online, and again, I've been doing social media for 7 or 8 years now. And for 5 of those years, I was in a very plus size body. I was on the end of the plus size spectrum. And I did so much work during that time to find self-acceptance, because I firmly believe that you deserve happiness at every stage in your life, and your body has nothing to do with it. And you should be able to respect yourself and be kind to yourself no matter what. And I think because I had done all of that work beforehand, when I felt like my body was now hindering my life. And I lived in denial for a very long time. And it's hard for me to talk about this because I do have so much respect for myself now and my previous self. I never share photos like before and after photos where the before is me looking terrible. I always, always make sure that my old self has respect. But being in that area online and having a shift internally was very, very scary. And when you mentioned that some people feel like they don't deserve to lose weight or that they can't or they're not allowed, that was me. That was me because what was the pushback going to be when suddenly this person who talks about loving themselves in every life wants to change it? But that is the point. You need to be happy with yourself. And if you can't do the things that you think will make you happy because of your body, then you might need to change your body. And realizing that the two can coincide. Again, weight loss without shame, weight loss without judgment, and weight loss without like self-deprecation isn't something that anybody talks about or anybody tries to kind of push that narrative. And that is, I think, the reason why I was finally successful and finally felt like it wasn't miserable. It wasn't so hard. It took effort. It took work, but it felt good for the first time. And I think it's because I was actually finally doing it from a place of care, from a place of love. I deserved to lose weight. I deserved to be around when my children are grown. I deserve that. And I don't know. I wish that more people understood that everyone deserves to live a life that is fulfilling to them. And sometimes that means you have to make changes.
I love that. I love that you are so candid about the identity shift and how difficult it can be.
It's so hard. It's so hard. I am only just now, again, 2.5 years in, 8 months into maintenance, 190 pounds, learning who I am now as a person and realizing how different I am because it has been so gradual. It's been so slow, but I am not the same person at all as I was before. And that doesn't mean my old self was bad or, again, not good enough. It's, I don't know. I think if you can really focus on I'm doing this because I care for myself or because I deserve it versus because I'm ugly and I don't, clothes don't look good on me or because, again, I feel like judgment when I go out to a restaurant. It makes it so much easier. It really does. I think it's okay to realize that as you grow, which how sad if we lived our lives without ever changing and growing and learning, maybe your priorities shift, maybe your desires shift, and again, your capabilities change. I started working out 4 months ago, which I know that was
amazing.
Consistently committing to a workout consistently 4 months ago, and I couldn't do 10 push-ups on my knees. And I said, all I want to do is do 10 push-ups on my knees, and now I can do push-ups on my toes. I couldn't even think about that 4 months ago. Because it wasn't in the realm of possibility. So allowing yourself to realize that your desires or your capabilities, what you can do, gets your level. You literally level up every time you show up for yourself. Every time you follow through with a commitment that you made for yourself, you level up and you're able to do a little bit more. And you deserve that.
I love that. It's so fun getting to know you. Anything you would want the listeners to know?
Again, I just want people to know that there is hope, and it doesn't happen overnight. And again, most people say, I want to lose 100 pounds. And when they've only lost 10, they give up because they didn't make it to 100. But you have to keep going, and it takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes so many mistakes. And it's so okay to make as many mistakes as you do, as long as you keep trying. Like, just keep trying. It's so worth it. And I'm so glad that I kept trying.
Me too. I think you're amazing. Tell people
You
where they
know?
can find you. Where can we find you?
On Instagram, TikTok, my website, it's at Maddy_Guttierrez_, super easy. And I hope that everyone knows that they are deserving of a life that brings them joy.
Me too. Thanks so much for being on the podcast with me.
Thanks for having me, Vanessa.
Thank you for tuning into Nature's Way to Wellness. If you're interested in trying Weight Manager, you can find it at Kroger, Amazon, or a grocery near you. And if you wish to learn more, visit naturesway.com. I'm Vanessa Rissetto, and this podcast is brought to you by Nature's Way, a pioneer in the vitamin and supplement industry for over 50 years.